It is about you. You are the selling point, and the landscape is changing. So be your authentic self because no one wants to go to work being miserable all day. Look at your own resume, look at your own LinkedIn, and look at your impact and what you have provided for that other company. And if you write things in that context, you're going to talk to the next employer.
In my opinion, it's about giving the customer what they really want and just blowing their mind once they get it. And that's what I really love to see, honestly.
Get people to do more of home cooking, home cooked meals, healthy meals, so we can all live long and happy.
I'm very proud to be a mom because, not for nothing, women are amazing.
Oh my God, the sacrifice, and how we make it look so easy.
I was just telling Joanne before we got on the call, I said, I had to run from my daughter's school. They had an Easter egg hunt. I said, all right, Mom, I gotta go to work. But, you know, just as moms, we make it happen, you know, supernatural abilities. We are the example for them, you know, and I know that with them being a better version of us.
You have to try. You never know how creative you are until you try. Because I didn't think I was creative. I found my creative side during a horrible time in my life.
Hello, everyone. I hope all is well. Today we're going to be doing a presentation talking about profiting first. I'm not sure what's going on. There we go. All right, there we go. I can see y'all now. Hey. With technology work, it work. When it don't, it don't. But I am super excited. It is another Thursday in the building. My name is Athenia Rodney. I am coach, founder, and CEO of Juneteenth NYC, and I'm here to share something that has transformed my life and how I operate my businesses, plural, right? More than one, and how I coach other entrepreneurs just like you. And it is called the Profit First Model. So now I know financing can feel very intimidating because I know for me it is and has always been that. I was always the person that was like, yeah, so I like money, right? I like to see it. I like to have it, but like being able to maneuver with it, be able to pay taxes, like all of that fine tuning stuff. Yeah, that's not me. But I've had to learn it because I'm a business owner. And as a business owner, that is going to be something that you have to learn and govern. And not just as a business owner, even as an individual person, you have to be able to govern your own finances in your home, to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay your light, your gas, your phone bills, like all of that. That encompasses being able to be efficient in different ways. And this system, I promise you, has been a game changer for me ever since I read it. This was a book that I read. It's called Profit First. I forget the guy's last name, but it's like Hotchowitz or something like that. Jewish guy. So he deals with money. You know what I mean? So I am so excited to be able to share this with you. And this is not the first time I've come on and I've done this, but because this month of April is all about finance, I wanted to be able to come on and talk about this every chance that I get, because anytime we can share information with our community that's going to help them to grow and to be better, especially with their finances, I'm going to do it for sure. So we're going to dive into understanding how to simplify your money and make it a lot easier for you and for your accountant to be able to manage and get through. Sounds good? All right. So this is going to be a little bit interactive. I want to know who's in the room. Let me know if and where you're joining me from. If you could drop that in the chat. So if you are joining from New York, if you're joining from Georgia, from Cali, from Ghana, wherever, from Philippines, from Pakistan, wherever you are joining, because we have people all over who are connecting with us, and we are super excited about our expansion and how that works. So hello, good green butterfly queen, welcome. Thank you for joining us on today. So I'm going to bring up my slide. from Brooklyn, New York. No way, New York. Hey, hey, hey. Awesome. New York City, what's going on? New York City's in the house. I love it. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to take control of your business cash flow. We are also live on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram and you want to come on over so that you can be in the place with everyone else, feel free to do so. But I'll be looking to, so if you see me looking to the side, I'm just looking to make sure that I'm answering all the questions from people who are also on Instagram as well. All right. So today is not going to be an interview style kind of thing, but more so you are going to be getting some information from me. I'll be sharing some information with you. So let's get into it. So this is this whole idea model of rethinking traditional accounting. Most of us, we start with the whole idea of we take all of our money and it goes into one account, and then we see all of this money in the account and we're like, oh yeah, I got all the money I need. I could start doing this. And you even have some people who I've heard that were like, all right, you better take your money out first before the bill collectors get their money. And I'm just like, that's not a good way. So it's pretty much whoever gets the money, gets to the money first is who gets it. That's not the best way to operate. That will lead you with a number of, fees, right? That are going to add up. And I have been there where I've looked at my fees and I've spoken to my accountant at the end of the year and my fees are like $3,000. And he's like, okay, so we got to work on this. And I'm like, no, we definitely do need to work on this, because that's $3,000 that could have went to something that was more like it could have went to a new product or a new marketing materials or something else that was well worth my time. So let's start with this question. How many of you have heard the phrase pay yourself first? So drop in the chat if you heard that phrase before. It's a traditional mindset, and it has been treating profit like it's an afterthought, right? So the whole profit, pay yourself last, not pay yourself first, but pay yourself last. The whole idea now is that we are paying ourselves first. But when we pay ourselves last, it's like it's an afterthought. So it's like the sales minus the profit equals our expenses, like what we have left over. And what I really want to work with you on today is kind of talking about how we can pay ourselves first and still have money left over at the end to be able to pay for all of the stuff that we need to pay for, right? So that's total income minus expenses equals our total profit. That's where the most people kind of live. And I want you to think about this idea. When you get a brand new toothpaste, right? And I know this is not about money. But I just want to, most people brush their teeth every day and most people get toothpaste that they're utilizing, right? So when you buy a brand new tube of toothpaste, I want to hear how much toothpaste you put on your toothbrush, right? Do you do that whole full line of toothpaste and run the whole length of your toothbrush? I'm most definitely one of those people, right? Then I read this book and it totally changed my mind about that, because he said, when we get to the end of the toothpaste, right? And we squeezing out and we get in these little pea-sized amounts of toothpaste and we put it on the toothbrush. Let me ask you, is your teeth any less clean with that pea-sized amount of toothpaste that you put on your toothbrush? I'm going to almost guarantee you that it is not. If anyone has ever read the back of the toothpaste or the instructions on how to use the toothpaste, it says to put a pea-sized amount of toothpaste on your toothbrush. A lot of people don't know that. So I got Green Butterfly. She says a pea-size of toothpaste. Exactly. So got Shanto Soizer on, and we have Curb Your Enthusiasm also joining us on Instagram, right? So I really want to bring that to just fruition. But the thought around that is that because we have more, we use more, right? We have a full tube of toothpaste, so I'm going to use more, and it's not going to brush my teeth any better than when I'm just using the pea size, which is actually the recommended amount that they are sharing that we use. So imagine if you were using the pea-sized amount toothpaste on your toothbrush from the very beginning, you would probably be saving a lot of money. You're probably going through 2 or 3 tubes of toothpaste less each and every time. And that is essentially what we have here, right? When we get a check and it goes into our bank account, what happens? We think all of that money in that bank account is for us to spend. But the reality is that it's not. That money is allocated to different things. That money, it needs to be allocated to your taxes. It needs to be allocated to your overhead costs. And it needs to be allocated to other stuff like paying yourself, right? Which is, and I'm privy to this as well, things that we don't do as business owners. We're paying quick to pay everybody else and make sure everybody else is getting paid, but we're not making sure that a dollar is coming into our own bank accounts as the business owner who is putting in 40, 50, sometimes 60 hours per week for their business. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea of where a lot of us kind of land. So we start off with this total income minus expenses, and that is where we're like, oh, whatever's left over is profit. But a lot of times, -0 is left over in our accounts. So there is no profit. But if we start with the sales minus our profit first, and then we go in, and leave the rest for our expenses, then what we're telling ourselves is that we've already taken out our own money and our profit, and the expenses is basically what we have in the account. That's all we have to spend. So I'm going to tell you how this looks in real life. So we're going to go to the next slide. So this is talking about small plates, big wins. So the idea for Profit First is all about dividing your income, the money that is coming into your bank account, into 5 different bank accounts, right? And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. These big wigs, they charge me $25 an account per month, and I don't have the capacity to be able to do that. I totally get it. But guess what? There are bank accounts out there that will allow you to open up, especially business accounts, for free. Okay. There are some that is even connected to this program. And for those who stay with me to the end, I will share that information with you for you to be able to connect. And this is not an affiliate link or any of those things. I don't get anything from this, but making sure that you have a way to be able to move forward in a better light to help your business. So what all does that look like? So you are to divide your monies into these 5 accounts. So your money will come into your income account, right? So all of your money will always go into that income account. You will then take the money from that income account and divide it into the 4 other accounts, which will be a profit account, a taxes account, a owner's compensation account, or a me first account, and an operating expenses account. So that's what dividing it into these 4 other accounts. So you need to have 5 accounts in total, because that income account will essentially be going down to 0 every time you do this. Some might ask, how often do we do this? And I say, so the ideal is based on how frequent you get money into your accounts, right? So if you are a high volume business, I definitely encourage you to do weekly. If you are someone who needs structure in your day, I definitely encourage you to do weekly. I'm a person who needs structure in my day. So me having it where every Monday that this is a half an hour time frame that I'm doing the allocations, this is going to help me, right? So that I can understand what's in my accounts. Or if you don't have as much volume, you might do it bi-weekly or even monthly. So it really depends on the volume that you have in your accounts. Now, the next big question that people always ask me is, well, how do I know how much money to put into each account? Good question, I might add. So I want to give you an example. So let's break this down. Imagine you receive $1,000 into your business account, right? Instead of just spending from that one account and praying it stretches to reach all of the things that you need to do, we divide that money into percentages ahead of time. So every dollar has a job. And if anyone who has taken any kind of finance courses, they have heard this before. every dollar that comes into your possession needs to have a job. Just like when you go to work and you see somebody just sitting around that's on the clock getting paid, and you looking at them and you frustrated because you're like, why I'm doing all this work and I'm getting the same pay as that person. That's what your money is saying as well. They're saying the same exact thing. Why am I doing all this work and that person just gets to sit over there and not do nothing? So every dollar that comes into your bank account needs to have a place for it to go. So making sure that you have identified what that is. This gives you clarity, it gives you control, and it gives you confidence, because when somebody says, hey, I have this great new program that I would love for you to take part in, and it's only $1,000, you can look in your account and you can look at your operations expenses, and you can say, well, I don't have enough to be able to cover all of my current expenses and still be able to pay this $1,000. So I won't be able to do it. That is a better way, because not for nothing, as somebody who is offering a service, I'm going to say, I understand. So let's see how we can work with you to get that so that you can have the money in your account in the future. That's the next stage that I'm going to say for a person like that. But at least I know and I understand that they understand what their bandwidth is with their finances. I hope that helps. So again, going back to what does it look like to break this down into percentages? So we start with our taxes, right? Because that one, we generally have an idea of what that looks like. So taxes are about 10%, 10 to 15%, depending on where you live. So I would start at about 10%. Again, depends on your volume. You might, if you don't have a high volume, probably might start at like 8% or so. So 8 to 10% is a good range to kind of start with your taxes. And then as you progress, you start to see where things lay. I also encourage you to not have your taxes and your profit accounts to be in the same bank. I used to, when I lived in New York, we had a bank account that was all the way in Queens, and we lived in Brooklyn, and they only had 2 locations that you can get your money from, one of these 2 branches, and they had limited hours, and they weren't open on Saturdays and Sundays. So when I tell you that, definitely I had to be intentional about going to go get my money out of that account. Okay. That is what you need this to be, to look like for you. It needs to be something that is not going to be like, oh, well, I see it's here. Let me just take it out and let me just use it. No, your profit and your taxes need to go to offshore accounts in different banks where you don't have full access to be able to get it, where you physically should have to go in and kind of get your money, right? So we have the taxes being about 10%. Usually I would say your profit too should be around, I would go a little bit lower. So like maybe a 5% for your profit, right? So that's 15% total. And let me get my pen as I'm saying all of this, because we're starting to get into the math. So we got 10%, then we got 5%. So that's 15%. Then you would say for yourself, owner's compensation, you could do another 5%. And again, start off small, start off with lower numbers at the beginning, and then work your way up. Starting off high and then having to adjust makes it difficult, because you have one idea in your mind about your operating expenses account and how much will be in there. And that's not what usually happens. So now we are at 20%, right? So we got 20%. So we've gotten our taxes, which is at the 10%. We got our profit, which is at 5%. And then we have our owner's compensation, which is at 5%. So that's 20%. That's leaving you with 80% in your account. So the 80% then goes to your operating expenses. Now, what you are saying is, with every bit of money, every dollar that comes into your business, 80% is going to go to your operating expenses. 5% is going to go to you. 5% is going to go to your profit, and 10% is going to go to your taxes. I know you're like, taxes, dang, how come they getting so much more money than me? I'm the one working the business. Yep, that's what Uncle Sam is all about. But again, like I said, the more you work this process, the more you can reallocate these amounts to fit your budget. But you want to make sure at the end of the day that we have enough money in our operating expenses to cover costs. And the costs will be paying any contractors that you might be working with, paying for any programming or software that you use. So if you're using Calendly, if you're using what are all these programs? See, I don't even use them anymore because I have my own program now. So we don't use all of these email marketing, text message marketing programs. Like all of those had like these monthly fees that we had to worry about before. And I was so excited when I was able to put together the ARB platform that has everything in one. So I just had that one payment that I had to worry about per month. And it lowered my overall operating expenses. And I was able to, guess what? Take that difference and bump up my owner's compensation to more like 20% instead of that 5%. So I hope that helps. And feel free to ask any questions, to drop any questions in the chat throughout this time. I see we have some more people. Unity is us. Welcome. Slim, that's them. I'm not going to say the last part of that, but welcome. See our Gardens, welcome. And again, please share where you're logging in from and connecting with city and state. And I'm going to go to the next slide. So what does this all look like? So one of the things that I like to talk about when doing this whole breaking down your bank account into different spaces is to pay yourself first, right? And there is a psychological component to that when you are doing that. When you are breaking it down into accounts and you put your 80% into your operating costs first and then break it up into everybody else, you're still paying yourself last. It still goes back to that same mindset. When you pay yourself first, you're like, oh, all right, look at that. I got enough to go get me some coffee, take myself out to lunch, go get me a massage, because whatever is going in that owner's compensation part is all yours. Now, if you're a solopreneur, if you do have multiple entrepreneurs, so if it is like if you have partnerships and stuff like that, it will need to be broken into whatever the partnership split is. But for most of us, we're solopreneurs and we're running our businesses on our own. So everything that we put into that owner's compensation is going to be ours. So I am excited when I'm like, okay, I got a little money to work with. I got something I could do so I could pay a bill. I can pay my phone bill with this. I can pay my mortgage with this. Like that does something to you mentally to see and hear yourself saying that you are paying yourself first. You also want to go into the profit space next. So your profit, owner's compensation, and then your taxes. And then your very last would be your operating expenses that you are putting the balance into, not first. I hope that helps you to kind of get an idea of what that looks like. So knowing that when you pay yourself first, it definitely creates a different mindset shift. And not just in you, but in your business and to others as well. You begin operating from a place of worth and not from a place of lack, like this is what I'm lacking in my business. It definitely gives you some energy that helps to trickle into how to lead, how to sell, and how to show up. If I saw that I got, let's say $5,000 in and I was able to put $1,000 into my account, I was like, okay, so now my goal is $20,000. So I need to get some stuff in the door so that I can get $20,000 so that I can make my part, that 5% that goes into my account, a lot higher. So now I have a goal, and my goal is not focused on my operating budget. My goal is focused on my owner's compensation budget and how much is going to go into that. And I hope that helps to frame things a little bit easier, a little bit better for you. So I'm going to go on to the next slide, please. So what I was talking about earlier with the whole idea of the, when you see it, when it's all in front of you, you feel like you got to spend it all because you feel like it is all for the spending, right? If I have one bank account, I'm like, oh, this $5,000 that I just got in this bank account, oh, I can spend all of it. And it is not. Because you got to pay for taxes and all that other stuff. And how many of you all, because I also was one of them, right, are people who at the end of the year, like next week, right, is tax season. And we're about to, some of us are going to have to pay some taxes. The first time I had to pay taxes, I was not a happy camper. I was like, these daggone taxes, I can't, this is why I need to create a loss for my business every year and blah, 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 blah. And then it came to the point where I wanted to sell my business, right? And I was showing a negative for my profit year after year. You think somebody wants to buy a business that's showing negative profit every year? Absolutely not. Zero people were like, oh yeah, this sounds like great business sense to me. I can just be zero too. No, they want to know that they're going to have some high returns from the business that you have. And I know a lot of us don't think when we go into business, oh, how am I going to sell my business? But there is another book that I've read that's called Start with the End in Mind. And when I do my coaching, I encourage people to read this book because it helps you to identify how to start your business, how to lay your business out so that you have an exit plan. And people are like, well, why? I want to do this. I want to pass it down to the next generations. And this is what I share to people all the time. We are in an age where technology is moving at a speed of lightning. Every day, there are new advances coming out in technology. AI is taking over. So my child who is in school, who is learning how to build the systems that we are learning about, will not want to take on, and and this is my business. They don't want to take on my simplistic business when they get older and they are so much more advanced. Okay. So thinking, oh, I'm building this business for my children to take over is a passé thought. We need to be thinking about, I'm building this business so I can sell it to someone who is willing to take it on so that the money that I made for my business, I can pass down to my children. That's a different thought to have than just thinking that what I want to pass my business down. So if we are in this, again, mind shift that we are not going into business so that we can pass the business itself down to our family members, but instead are going into a space where we can pass the money that we made from selling our business, then what does that look like? How does that look different? So going back to this now, out of sight, out of mind. If the money is not there, and that's why I said to send your money to for your profit and for your taxes to an offshore account so that you are not seeing it visibly. Every time I go into my bank account, you only see 3 accounts. You see your income account, you see your taxes, you see your owner's pay, and you see your operation costs. You'll only see those 3 accounts in that one bank. So now those are the things that you get to focus on. So I'm gonna tell you about the profit one and how to use that in a little while, right? So that is one of the ways how you keep profit and you continue to grow it and not focus on all of the other pieces. So this prevents overspending. It protects you from yourself, okay? And a lot of times we need protecting from ourselves. So next slide, please. Consistency is key. So earlier on, I talked about how often do you do this. I guess I was going ahead of myself. I've done this, like I said, so many times I could probably do the whole thing without even looking at the slides. But for purposes of everyone who's watching us, right? Consistency is definitely key. Schedule allocations. It can be twice a month to create a steady financial rhythm. Discipline builds a strong financial foundation. Like I said, for me, I need weekly because I just need the structure in my day. I put it on my calendar. Every Monday is my office day. And that's the day that I'm building out my calendar. That's the day that I'm looking at my finances. That's the day that anything that I need to work on to make payments and stuff like that, those things are happening on Monday for me. That's how my schedule operates. So to have this in my schedule every Monday is helpful because then I know that this is a part of my rhythm, my circadian rhythm, right? And I know how to expect it. I know how to tell other people how to expect it as far as my team, my staff, people who are expecting to get paid so that they know, okay, this is how things operate. So money can't go into your hands until it goes into mine because it needs to be broken down into the different spaces. And again, I'm going to tell you about a site that I use. It's called RelayFi, RelayFi.com. They will automate this process for you. So you don't have to think about it. So I just go in every Monday to see how much money I got in my personal account and my owner's pay account to know how much I'm going to get paid on Friday when the payouts, when I've set for my payouts to actually happen. All right, moving along. Next slide, please. And again, like I said, if you have any questions or thoughts about anything that I'm sharing, please feel free to drop in the chat. Also on Instagram, you can also drop questions. I have it open on my computer. Every time you see me look to the side, that's what I'm looking at. Because we have some we have about 25 people who have joined, that are watching off and on Instagram. So really excited about that. And so all of you on Instagram, and I mean on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, welcome as well. So thank you. All right. So we talked about building a habit. Next steps. So what do we do in order to make this work for us? So we want to open 5 bank accounts. And yes, I said 5, which we talked about, 1 for each category we discussed. You want to assess your current allocation percentages. So if you don't have something already in place, this is, like I said, a great place to be able to start. You could do the 10-5-5, which is 10 in taxes, 5 in profit, and then 5 in your owner's pay. And then you can go into, and then the balance goes into your overhead costs, right? Set, and then schedule regular allocation days. So if you can do all of those, then you will be in a space of benefit. Now, a couple of people have asked, right? Someone asked, so what do I do with profit? Like, what is profit about? So I want you to think about this. When you are, if you have, what is it? If you have, what's it called? I can't think of it. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. When you're putting money into, like your 401ks or putting money into stocks, that's the word I'm looking for. When you're putting monies into stocks, if you see every quarter, you might get some residual. So depending on how much money you have in stocks, you might get a payout for that. And this was something that I learned in college, actually, because I went to Middlebury College, and at Middlebury, they were very big on building out their endowment. And I never really understood what that meant about building out their endowment. So they would basically say, we have to raise, let's say, $500,000 in order to build an endowment account. And once we build that $500,000, we will only use the interest that comes off of that endowment. So that's where the scholarships and things like that would come into place. So they would get an endowment, and let's say that 500, and this is totally just making up numbers, but let's say the 500,000 endowment would bank us $5,000 per year interest. We would get that $5,000 per year interest, and that's what we would offer to the students as a scholarship. So that $500,000 never changes. It may go up significantly, and we might get more interest than that $5,000 every year. Let's say one year we might get $8,000, another year we might get $10,000. And what they're doing is they're just taking that difference and they're rolling it back in so that there has more money. But that $5,000 is the only amount that they've allocated to go out to individuals. So what that does is it gives you a buffer, right? Just in case people, 1 year it dips and you don't get 5,000, maybe you get 4,500, but now you can take out that extra $500 and it does not change your $500,000 that you originally put in the account. So just thinking about that, that was so helpful for me, because I was like, a lot of us, we're operating off the actual dollar amount in our account and not operating off of the interest. I always said, if I win the lottery, I'm putting all that money into an endowment account and I'm only going to live off the interest so that so my money can continue to work for me. And so that I am not worried about that money ever disappearing. That money will always be there. So that is just a little side tidbit that I wanted to share with you about that. But so where the profit goes, where it is in another account, that is something that you would only visit every quarter, right? And every quarter you would do this. You would half the amount that is in that account, and half of that would go to you as a bonus for all of the hard work that you did. And the other half would go to paying off any debt that you may have, or investing in a new program, process, or equipment that you need to have. Makes sense, right? So 4 times a year, you will get a bonus, And 4 times a year, you will get to invest in something that you think will enhance your business. So that could be a workshop, it could be a training, it could be a class that you might be interested in, it could be buying a new computer, it can be any sorts, but that is really what you would be using that profit for. So that means that you don't have to worry about your overhead costs and having to take money out of that overhead cost because you have an account already allocated to do what you needed to do. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because trust me, when I realized all of that, it like blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is how the rich people do it. I want to be doing what they're doing so that I can get there. And slowly but surely that is happening. It is not something that's going to happen overnight. It is not something that's going to happen immediately. But if you continue to keep doing it, you will see that the process works. And the process is something that I'm not just talking about, but this is something that people who are rich actually operate in. And I'll tell you this. There was one year with Juneteenth where we really like got a lot of sponsorship that particular year, and it was really exciting. We was like, oh my gosh, I was seeing checks that for a whole year that I just in my hand at one time, and I was just like, oh, this is different. When I put that money into my bank account, guess what my bank did? They called me and they were like, hey, Miss Rodney. I'm like, hi, what did I do? The check was real. I promise you it was real. They was like, no, that's not what we're calling you. The check is cleared. You're all good. They was like, we want to offer you to open up other bank accounts for free. I was like, Bank of America, who charges me $25, $35 per month, wants to offer me free bank accounts and as many accounts as I want? What do you mean? I was a little confused, perturbed to be exact. And they were like, yes, we know that you might want to split your money into different accounts so that you can allocate them for different things. And I was like, huh. So my little old idea that I learned from this book, Profit First, is actually really and truly how rich people are doing it. And the banks are set up for them to do so. They don't pay. I wasn't paying any monthly fees. I was getting 5-6 bank accounts for free from Bank of America, who charges the little people $35 a month. I was like, you need to be charging them. They got all the money in the account. Why are you charging little me? So that is definitely something to think about, right? If that is how things are operating when you get to $50,000 and $75,000 in your bank accounts in these big institutions, and they are willing to give you these free bank accounts, there's a reason. And their reason is exactly this, because people are doing this. They are separating their monies. They have monies going into different accounts for different things. And even with your operations account, you can break that down even a little bit further, where you can have 6 accounts, where one of your accounts is just for your staff or your finance, your staff fees that you need to pay out. And then the other one is just general overhead costs. So as you get more comfortable with this, but I always say start off with the 5 first. And then as you get comfortable, you can go even deeper in breaking up that last one into different groups so that you have more of an understanding. And then the idea too is this, that you will eventually get to a point where you're only getting the profit part. That you're only getting the profit part. That means that you are no longer working your business. That means you no longer need to get paid from your business because you have a team of people who are working your business for you. And the only part that you will be getting is getting paid every quarter as a profit that is getting paid out to your business. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you're feeling that, because like when I heard that and I started to outline that my plan of action and how that looks for my life and for my family, I was like, yeah, I could see that. I was like, okay, so this essentially, I have 3 businesses. And if I operate my businesses on different quarters, that means one quarter, January, I'm going to get one payout from one business, another one February, I'm going to get a different one from another business, and another one in March, I'm going to get another payout from another business. So basically, I'm getting a monthly payout from each of my businesses, and all I'm doing is oversight. All I'm doing is supporting the people who are actually running the day-to-day. That's where I want to get. I'm not there. Trust me, I'm not there. Right now, I'm all hands on deck on everything, but that is my goal. All right. So we got a couple of people dropping some stuff in, like Great Day coming from South Jersey. Hey. Build an endowment. Wow. Yes. I want to master this. Anyone else? I need to reopen my other accounts. Yeah, but only make sure that it doesn't have any financial backing, so that you don't have, you're not incurring any costs. So that is very important. Make sure whatever account that you are working in and operating in, it does not have any financial costs. Because I'm not trying to tell nobody to create any more debt for yourself. That's the far from what I'm saying right now. So the call to action: building community wealth. Your financial success uplifts the entire community. When you are successful, you are able to go and support others. You're able to pay more tithes at church. You're able to do more in your community. You're able to maybe support with a back to school event and buying books or buying activities or giveaways or buying food for the homeless or for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, buying toys for kids at your school, your children's schools, or at schools in your neighborhood that may not have access to getting high caliber toys and stuff like that. This helps the community overall. And it also makes you feel better. I don't know about you, but for me, right, anytime I'm down and out, I go and help somebody else. Anytime I'm down and out, I go and help somebody else, and it lifts my spirits instantly, because God made us to pour into other people, not to live this world alone. And so I encourage you that anytime that you are feeling that you are not in a good space mentally or physically, to go and help somebody else with whatever they might. And it could be something simple. It could be go help somebody paint, go help somebody clean their house, go help somebody do their lawn or something outside, whatever it might be. Take a load off of somebody else's plate, even if you're overwhelmed. But the thought or the idea of you going to help somebody else will absolutely help you and make you feel a lot better. It also helps you take control of your cash flow and let you create a legacy of wealth and empowerment. As I shared, being able to build out your own endowment for your personal business is ideal. And that's the goal. That's the goal for me, right? That should be the goal for you as well. How much money do I need to have in my account so that I am able to live off of the interest? That is my goal right now. How am I able to live off the interest of the money that's in my account, so that the money that's in my account never has to be touched, but I'm only living off the interest of what is going into my account? All right. And I think this is the last slide. Yeah, that is it. So thank you for your time on that. I hope you got a lot out of this. I completely enjoy teaching this. Like I said, I myself am a work in progress. I am currently learning new ways on how to advance my own knowledge and manage my own finances. I share all of this out of experience. I share all of this out of a want and a need to do better and to be better for myself, and then a want and a need to be better for my community as well, so that we can thrive together, especially in this administration right now. There's so many challenges that are going on, and there's so many things that are happening that we need to be present to and we need to be prepared for. And this is a way for us to be able to prepare. Imagine having a profit account that you don't even need to touch, because you're able to make so much money in your day-to-day count for yourself, and that owner's pay account that is able to pay whatever bills that you need to pay, that you're able to say, hey, I have extra money to be able to put here and there. But if not, you don't never have to touch that profit. And then that profit can go to something even major. That can go to maybe you taking your entire staff on a retreat for a weekend or a week, and being able to pay them. Imagine that if you worked for a company, and a small company at that, and your boss was like, hey, we just got, and we don't need to use it. So I'm going to take everybody to Orlando, Florida for the week, so that we could do a little retreat and do a powwow and a planning session. I'd be like, I ain't never going nowhere. This is the best boss I ever had. So just think about what you can do to pour into the people who are working for you, and so that you can have more of the people who do well and who do a good job. So I got some responses in the chat. Great information. Thank you. You're very welcome. Awesome. I needed this information. Thank you for sharing this information with us. You are very welcome. We're going to continue the next couple of weeks that we have coming up. We're going to be talking about a number of things around finance and trying to help you to understand and to get well versed. So join us next Thursday as well if you are available between 12 and 1. I am just going to transition a little bit to what we have going on with Juneteenth stuff, since this is the Juneteenth New York platform, the Lunch and Learns. So we have our community partners orientation that will be happening on this Monday, April 14th. That's also my son's birthday. He's turning 16. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to gather myself. He's going to be 16 and he's on a college tour trip right now. So, that means he's going away to college soon. I'm not ready. I'm just saying I'm not ready. But Monday, I digress. Community partners orientation. So if you are in the Brooklyn, New York City area and you are interested in being a community partner, what does that mean to be a community partner? That means that you are a nonprofit organization. That means that you do not have any products that you're looking to sell to the audience. And you are not a corporation that has over 25 individuals working at it, that you will be considered a community partner. The goal there is to offer resources to our constituents in the community, let people know what is out there for them, let them know what they can tap into, because there's so many great organizations that are doing some amazing things. But guess what? The issue is people don't know that they're doing them because marketing is not the greatest, or they don't have a budget for a marketing department. So we offer this up as an opportunity for marketing for our Juneteenth festival. So definitely come learn a little bit more of what it includes. Scan this code April 14th at 5 p.m. All right. Also on next week, we are going to be talking about the art of the business plan. Again, one of our biggest things that we are trying to work, and this is something for anywhere. So anywhere that you have a business, this does not pertain just to New York City. If you are in Georgia, if you're in Florida, if you are in Oklahoma, if you're in California, we've had people logging in from everywhere, Toledo, all of it. We will be talking about the art of creating a business plan. A lot of people are not doing the business plan thing anymore. And that is the worst thing that you could do. Really understanding what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are as a business is paramount for a continual business. And being able to talk to how you will combat those threats in your business and how you take advantage of those opportunities are going to be how your business is going to grow. So we're going to be talking about that and how to create a one-page business plan. I think too, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, a business plan is so overwhelming. It's so much to talk about, so much to do. And that's what we're going to simplify. And we're going to get together and talk about that for a 90-minute session on Tuesday. So if you are interested, please go to our website, JuneteenthNY.com, so that you can learn a little bit more information about that. All right, moving on. Marketing tidbits. This is something that came out of being a leader for Juneteenth. One of the things that I've learned is that when I've met with our vendors and a lot of our fashion designers and stuff like that, they're like, oh, I have this great product, but I don't know how to get it out there. They don't, when I look at their social media page, it's not together. It's very piecemeal. Everything is not like consistent. And there's no goal with their marketing. They're just putting stuff out to put it out because they think it sounds good in the moment. And there needs to be a plan for all of it, all of what you're doing. Focus your energies on the right thing. So we're going to be talking about on April the 21st at 8 p.m. what focusing your energies in marketing looks like for your business. What ways are there to be able to market. I talk about a program that I used a long time ago and that I'm resurfaced. One of my friends, Eloquentia, reminded me about the program, and ever since I'm like, yes, this is where God has destined me to move on to. And that's understanding bank code personality. So we'll be talking about what that is and how to use that to be able to engage and to bring new clients into to close the deal, to actually make money. Excuse me. Next slide, please. Our model masterclass. So this past Saturday, we had our first model masterclass. Woo, 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 woo. It was really amazing. We had some really great content that was captured. If you were not able to make it, that is fine. It was recorded, and we will have that in our membership portal. To gain access to the membership portal is $20 for the month, $120 for unlimited. and or $20 to join any one of these sections, or $120 to join all of them. So it is really so that you can get access to the materials, especially if you're working or doing something during that time and not able to. These are the other sessions that we're doing: mastering the art of storytelling, poise and presence, lights, camera, capture, the self-love workshop, where we're talking about what being a model is and what some of the things to expect when you're going into that space, because it can be challenging going into spaces and being a model. And I'm so grateful for my team, my fashion design team, because they are seeing beyond the exterior and they're looking at the heart, right? Because at the end of the day, it's about how you present. If you can be a voluptuous woman, you can have scars all over your face, you can be short, you can be all of those things. But how you carry yourself and how you pose yourself is really what makes you stand out. Anyone can make clothes look good if they have the right confidence. So we're going to be talking about that and what that looks like with self-love. We're up the runway. We're going to be talking about from casting to collaborations. And the last one we're also going to be is going to be our ending off season, where we really looking forward to you to be able to sign up. So if you're interested, connect with the QR code there and follow us it's also on our website. Sorry. Been talking for a long time. All right, Tuesday, under the table, business integrity. This is another one of the topics. So basically, we're going to have a series that are going to be going on, but the first one starts on this Tuesday coming up. Tuesday, under the table, business integrity and the vendor mindset. So we're going to be talking about different means of being able to be a vendor. I always say anybody when they're joining or they're trying to sign up to be a vendor with Juneteenth, I'm like, is this the right space for you? I need you to ask yourself that question. I need you to answer it. Is this the right space for you? Do you really see that this is where your target market would be? Help you identify and understand where your target market is. That is all very helpful. And so we're going to be talking about that and what it means to be in integrity with setting up and being for a vendor event, and knowing the difference between a vendor pop-up and festivals and all of those things, because that's a real thing. Our event is not a pop-up. We planned this event all year. We didn't just say yesterday, okay, we're going to do something in June and we putting something together. Absolutely not. We are planning this year round, 365 days a year. And that is what the difference of between one event to another is. Vending like a pro. This is going to be another one of the sessions, and that it's a 7-week series. So again, if you're interested in any of them, and this is similar to our modeling mastermind sessions. So it'll be if you are not a vendor. So if you're a vendor with Juneteenth, you get this complimentary. And even if you're a virtual vendor, any type of vendor with us, you get this complimentary. If you are not, this is an opportunity for you to still get some of the knowledge and be able to collaborate on what we're pouring into our community. We also have on Juneteenth, this is newly released, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm going to have to get me some skates because I gave away my skates a long time ago. I think when I had my second child, I gave away my skates. So I need to go give me some skates again. But we are on Juneteenth Day. We are also going to have a skating area. So we're going to have, if you don't have skates, that is fine. We will have skates available for you. But if you do have skates, we definitely encourage you to bring your skates. It'll be only $2 for the hour for you to be able to go in and really enjoy yourself. And reason why we're charging $2 is because we only have 50 skates that'll be available per hour. And we want to make sure that if people sign up, that we're able to comp the loss if the person doesn't show. But it will also have a waiting list for people who afterwards, but we're really just trying to, again, I'm very big on integrity, guys. So this is just that $2 is not for us to make a profit or any of those things. This is really just for you to be able to pour in. We're a nonprofit organization, so it's tax deductible anyway. So just get it $2. All right. Numbers that matter is going to be another topic that we're going to be talking about. That's going to be in May for our virtual workshop series. Then we have on this Monday our vendor info sessions that will be at 7:00. So what I do want to highlight about that is May 2nd is the last date that we will be taking any vendors. So if you do not get your spots by May 2nd, it is gone until next year. We do have some other smaller events that are happening, but it is nothing at the caliber of our Juneteenth festival that will have 15 to 20,000 people at it. And this year we have some really amazing, amazing things that are coming and that are going to be in store. Like you saw, we're doing, as we have them, we'll start rolling them out, but the skating opportunity is going to be really big. We have a great skating community, and they absolutely love all the stuff that we've been doing, and we are excited about having them join us. So I talked a lot, y'all. I am blessed and highly favored, and thank you all for joining us on today. We look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, where we will be closing. Next week, Thursday, will be another session on another financial topic. So we definitely encourage you to join us and to be with us, whether you're joining in on Instagram. Thank you all for that. And for those who are joining us on Facebook, thank you for that. Those are LinkedIn, and those who are on YouTube. I love you. I love you. I love you. We appreciate you. Happy Thursday, and God bless. Good night. Bye.